Okay, so welcome to another edition of Frankly Speaking. I believe I was told earlier by the people behind the camera this is episode 12, and so welcome. And every now and then I get to interview somebody else. I am usually the interviewee. It's a great break for me and an opportunity to introduce you to some people who are really influential around the utility. And so joining me today is Commissioner Mindy Schlossberg. Welcome, Mindy.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being here. I get a chance to work with you pretty routinely, but for those who work at EWEB who don't get a chance to come to board meetings or don't know who you are, can you just introduce yourself to the employees and how long have you been in Eugene and a little bit about you as a person?
Sure. I have been in Eugene for about 24 years now. I have 3 children. They're all grown. We raised them here in Eugene. And by day, I am a speech therapist, and I work with children ages 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm. Wow, neat.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become an EWEB commissioner and all that entails as far as the oversight of the utility? You are one of my 5 bosses,
Mm-hmm.
so appreciate your perspective on that. But you know, what really inspired you to, why'd you want to become a commissioner?
That's a great question. I knew you would ask me this question. And sometimes I ask myself that too, because like I said, my day job, I'm a speech therapist, so there's not really like a natural linkage here, except I would say that I've spent a good portion of my life doing some kind of public service, volunteering, being on boards, and I started getting much more interested in what was going on in the local community just after the 2016 election.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I wanted to just get more involved civically. So I reached out to a lot of different elected officials or people who were involved in things just to try to figure out what my place was. And it just so happened that there was an opening on the board, and somebody asked if I'd be interested in running. And my first response was no. I didn't think it was a natural fit at all. I couldn't figure out why would I even be qualified to be on a utility board. But then I just started thinking about it a little bit more, about what my values are, what's important to me. I actually have a background in environmental studies, but I don't use that in my work. So there's a component of that serving on this board that I found really interesting. And as part of my job, I'm in and out of people's homes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to see how people from all different backgrounds live, what their priorities are, their struggles. And I think that in paying for utilities or access to clean water, electricity, I think it's really important for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have an understanding of kind of what people are going through. And then lastly, I would just say I'm really committed to good governance, and I think to be on a board like this, you need to have people that are interested in that, because it doesn't matter if you come in with an agenda or something like that. Like you're working as a whole for the whole community.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that the staff that works with you and the other commissioners really appreciate the different perspectives that you bring to the position and the oversight and being able to give us different perspectives as a representative of the community. You are the at-large commissioner, so you are not assigned to a specific ward. So all of our customers have access to you as their representative, and so thank you on behalf of staff. What do you find the most challenging aspect of being a commissioner?
I don't like it when people are mad at me or disappointed. So I think that can be challenging because, as you know, there are occasions when people don't like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that to be probably the most challenging part of it. And then at the same time, I take very seriously the decisions that we're making. They're very weighty, and sometimes it can be hard to make those decisions to try to make sure that I'm using all the information that I can get, and I'm not biased in one way or another, that I am really clear thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate that. in particular knowing that we're an organization that has services that affect everybody in the community. Almost every decision we make has some advocates and has some opponents to it. And so when they are at that level, when they're at the board level, where they're really impactful to the policy and the direction of the organization that is so impactful, it's pretty much anticipated you won't make everybody happy. So we're glad you're able to navigate that. You mentioned decisions and weighty decisions. What do you think have been, at least maybe recently, you've been on the board since 2017, I guess, if you ran.
2019, I think.
2019,
yeah.
Okay. So for a number of years, what do you think have been some of the most important decisions that you've made as a commissioner?
Definitely the Lieberg decision. I think that was by far the biggest decision that we've made. And also just participating in that process. It was probably the longest and most robust process that I've been through on this board.
And when you think about kind of the future and upcoming decisions, the Bonneville decision was a pretty big one too. And that just recently made. I actually did a Frankly Speaking on that. I think it was last month. Just the impact of that, the fact that it's 15 years and worth so many billions of dollars, and the guidance on that was really important. Now that one had a number of technical aspects.
Yeah.
The Lieberg decision, very much a social and community focus to that decision, and therefore the role of the board became really important in that one. And so, but you look forward a little bit. What do you think are some of the things that you're anticipating in the future that might be big decisions, or things that you think are really important that we're going to need to address or talk about or kind of see on the horizon?
Well, hiring your successor.
It's coming up, yes.
That will rank up there with one of the probably biggest decisions that I will have been part of on the board. And also, I think just looking at our future, like where are we going as an organization? What are our priorities and our goals? What is our energy supply going to look like? How are we going to work to shape it here through behavior, things like that?
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity within the organization. There's a number of things that are dynamics and changing in the world. With some of those, like energy supply itself, but also the regulatory environment that we operate in. Both water and electricity are highly regulated. I don't think most people understand that. You have to work within some pretty tight constraints, oftentimes. But
also second source.
Second source, absolutely. The water people in the audience will appreciate that. We've really tended to focus on sort of the energy supply and optimizing that. Those are major decisions. Also, resiliency, both water and electric. Resiliency, including wildfire on the electric. Second source on the water. What's our path forward look like on that? So we're glad you're in tune with that and gearing up to do that, as well as hire my replacement. So look for somebody better than myself. What do you dislike? I mean, other than people showing up, is there anything that you either really like or really dislike about being a commissioner?
I would say that the thing that I really like about it is I like the intellectual challenge. I find it to be really interesting, and I like engaging in these topics that I think are really important and impactful. I like serving on the board because I like hearing different points of view. And so I like it when there's a presentation, listening to other commissioners' questions and answers. I just find that, I find that very intellectually stimulating. The things that I don't like it on Friday, getting that really long board packet. That's
We'll
not
work
always
on
fun. And I don't like people being upset with me.
Yeah, yeah. Just so people who are tuning in understand this, the week before the board meeting, we send out background information, oftentimes memos, tables, reports. These can be several hundred pages, depending on the particular month and how much background, everything from budgeting information to technical reports that support direction or decisions that we're asking the board to make. And so and I've said this internally, I'll say it to you. The board we have now is very good about doing their homework, about being prepared when they come into board meetings. Not all boards are like that. And so we really appreciate you and your fellow commissioners being prepared, making these really valuable discussions. And so really thankful for that. Just a couple questions left, but is there something that you have learned being on the board that going into this I had no idea, I had no idea that things worked that way, or totally kind of almost sort of enlightening in the sense of, wow, I really didn't know that that's the case, or is there something that sort of jumps out to you?
Well, certainly any of the technical stuff, because I don't have a background in that, so that was a huge learning curve. That was a lot of like, wow, I didn't know it. I had no idea it worked this way. So that, and I think I've learned that like making these decisions are hard. It's really easy to sit back or to watch like other boards or other elected officials and to be, I don't know, dismissive or disdainful, or why would they make that decision? And sometimes people make good decisions and sometimes they don't. But until you're really in that situation and having to weigh so many different factors, it really is a huge responsibility. Not that I thought it was going to be super easy coming into it, but I've just had to think really deeply at times, and sometimes it's just been kind of difficult.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. My last question for you is there any message that you would like to give to the employees of EWEB? You're in this opportunity. There's quite a number of them tune into this, as we were talking about the numbers earlier, but is there anything you'd like to say to the employees of EWEB?
Thank you for all of your hard work. I've had numerous opportunities to interact with different staff, and staff have just been phenomenal. I feel really privileged to be part of this organization. I have loved all the interactions that I've had with staff. Their professionalism has been amazing. The teamwork has been fantastic. So kudos to the staff here, because I think that really overall this organization is stellar.
Well, great. Well, I'll end by thanking you for a number of things. First of all, for being such a good servant of the community in this role. I know that's part of why you did it, and so we really appreciate that. But also, I want to thank you, as well as when I get a chance, I'll thank the other commissioners as well, for being such a respectful board. It is easy to get caught up in the emotions and the feelings of a lot of these issues that people are passionate about, including yourself, about certain issues. But the fact that this board can agree, can disagree, and can find a path forward, including disagreements with myself and staff, but doing it in such a respectful manner and in such a you're not paid in this role, but such a professional way, I think sets a standard that other boards hopefully will look at and go, we want to act like that. We want to be as productive as that board. It doesn't come by accident. It comes because of commissioners like yourself. And so thank you for that. And I'll thank the other commissioners when I get a chance. But it's a pleasure to work with you, and we appreciate your guidance and leadership. And more to come on that. More work to get to.
Yep.
I'm sure you'll get a board package here in another week or
Soon
so.
enough, yeah.
And so thank you, Commissioner, for joining us. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Right. Thank you.